Um, Hi. You like my hat? It's actually I'm a rainbow unicorn. I thought it was pretty cool. I've got like a actually rainbow thing on the top. Is this hat ready for the thrift store? Anita. Oh, hi. Wait, let me open up here so I can read your comments properly. It's super hard on the little screen. Also, let me cover my face. I can't do this while I'm watching myself. It's just so weird. If you don't let Anita host it, she probably isn't as busy as she's been helping you with the selling. Oh, has she been helping with selling? She's been picking up a lot of stuff from the garbage. Like for example, this hat. I keep telling her, Anita, stop picking up trash, but she's like, "Well, that's so cool. I didn't want it to go to the dumpster." So yes, she's helping me in that sense. Hi, Christina. Thank you. Hi, Anonymous. Oh my gosh, you guys, Buffy St. Marie. I could not believe this. My jaw just like, oh, what? Oh my God. Hi, Kentucky girl. Nice to see y'all. So here's the crazy story. I remember Buffy being on TV when I was a kid. I actually remember when she was on Sesame Street, and I remembered her as this native girl, this singer. At the time, we said Indian, and so did she and everyone else, you know? Everybody knew that Buffy was an Indian, that she was native. Hi, Anonymous. I was just absolutely shocked. I probably shouldn't be because I wouldn't put it past celebrities to do absolutely anything it takes to get ahead, but this was really over the top. I don't know if I can wear this hat the whole time, though. I might get hot. It turns out that Buffy is probably not native at all. Wait, let me take the hat off because it's muffling my ears. So but I was wearing this because this whole what do they call this, pretendians, okay, she's a pretendian. Buffy St. Marie's a pretendian, which means that she's pretending to be an Indian, i.e. a native or indigenous person, and that offends my sensibilities because obviously that means that she's taking away opportunities from native people, right? I mean, it's just completely outrageous that she did it, but also yes, I'm a liberal rainbow unicorn today. um Okay, so the first of all though, like Mountain Esoteric says, I saw that documentary. Do you think she wears makeup? This was a documentary on the Fifth Estate. Do you think she wears makeup? I'm still so curious how she got the look. You see how pale she was as a child. I don't think she was ever that pale. I think she always had olive skin from my mm, my perspective, but the easiest thing to fake is having darker skin. It takes nothing to put some fake tanner, some makeup, or maybe a spray tan. Hold on a second, my glasses are all foggy. So the color of her skin to me doesn't mean very much. You can lighten or darken your skin or do whatever you want with it. But her features, I mean, she has these prominent cheekbones and she has that shape of her nose that, I mean, my mother has this kind of shape of her nose too, and they used to call her Indiana Nose when she was little, which meant Indian nose, because it's kind of like a shape of nose that you see. Yeah, Buffy St. Marie. Yeah, Christina, Buffy St. Marie. The shape of her nose, like it just pretty much looks like, what was the word we're supposed to use again? Native. Let's just say native. That's what I usually say. It's just like on the whole, when you look at her face, I'd say she would certainly pass for being native. Um, so on the Fifth Estate, it turns out that there was someone who had watched a previous, she is a singer, yeah, hi Fuddy Duddy, she's a singer and she still is, and she actually just won another award recently in Canada as for as an aboriginal or indigenous artist. Like she's been winning awards as a native for a long time and billing herself as such and getting paid extra as such. So there had been a documentary about her life that was made years ago, and there was a woman who's kind of a researcher who watched this. This woman is a native, and she watched this documentary and she noticed there were all these inconsistencies in it. Um, Buffy St. Marie her story was that she was native from Canada, but she was adopted in the States. It's somewhere in New England. I forget if it was Maine or Pennsylvania. Um, and that she never she see here's the problem. She gave a lot of different narratives. She said she always knew where she came from. She always knew who her parents were. Other times she said she never knew. She had no idea. In the beginning, she, I think, told people she was Algonquin. Then later, she was something else. Then she was Mi'kmaq, which is like from the east coast of Canada. And finally, she said she was Cree. So I think at the time, nobody really noticed that she had said in one interview that she was Algonquin, for example. And then a couple of years later, she's being interviewed again, and now she's from a different group, you know, a different tribe. Yeah. And then later, I know that when she was on Sesame Street, she was saying that she was Cree. And like nobody would question it because she sang like, yeah, it's stunning, isn't it? She sang like in this native style. She had the look. She said she was Cree. Why would anybody doubt her, right? But it turns out that for one, she always said she didn't have a birth certificate, but these people who were investigating her tracked down her original birth certificate, which was in New England, and because of the way it was numbered, they knew that it was the original, and she was really born there. Like when people get adopted, though, they can get an issued a new birth certificate. Like I know someone who was adopted and he was given a new birth certificate that says that he was born to his adoptive parents. Well, it just says when he was born and it says who the parents are. It doesn't say that they're his adoptive parents. So it's seemed to me that that alone, having this birth certificate, didn't prove or disprove. At least it wouldn't in Canada. It's not 100% because, like I say, they do issue new birth certificates. But the person who found this record said no, categorically, this is her real birth certificate. But it turns out that her brother had tried to out her many years ago by saying that she's not Indian or whatever. They were Italian, and he just said that yes, he was her real brother, and her parents were white. Like she had met someone on a plane, and she introduced this person to her brother Alan as this is my brother, and then they were like, "Are you really her brother?" And maybe asked if she was adopted, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm really her brother, and she really has white parents." And Buffy got lawyers and sent her family letters. Actually, wait, no, there was one more thing. Her brother tried to write to a newspaper explaining that she wasn't really indigenous and that she was Italian and had white parents and that she shouldn't be doing this. And this was way back in the day. The newspaper didn't publish it, but she found out about this and she wrote to her, she got this lawyer to write to her family telling them that they were trying to slander her, telling her brother that he was trying to defame her, and that if he didn't stop, she was going to sue him. And she also said that she would expose him as a child M, if you know what I mean. Like she basically just threatened him with the worst thing she could threaten him with. Whether that's true or not, I mean, nobody else in the family seems to think it's true, but it was like she could just make up this huge lie about her brother to just keep him quiet. And so he never said anything again, and the whole family was just scared shitless that she would, destroy them. So it seems like, hi Too Fresh, hi Edmond. Not everyone can afford a birth certificate. No, but she had one. Like there was actually one, and they're issued by the government to like everyone. You don't have to pay. There's a birth record. Well, you might not have, your copy of your new birth certificate, I guess, but normally, like when someone is born, there's some record of their birth, whether you ask for it or not. Like, for example, I didn't actually get my son's birth certificate until he was a few months old. But the government still had a record that he'd been born, whether I had the papers or not. They did. But her family, they were not poor. They had money, and they could have afforded one anyway. But it's like completely beside the point. But yeah, so like it turns out that she just at some point decided to bill herself as native, and she would make more money that way and get way more shows. And she just continued this for all these years. Anonymous says just looked her up. She doesn't look native. She looks Italian or Swiss. Well, now that I know that she's Italian, when I look at her, I think, yeah, she could be like she just looks Italian. They can also have, dark complexion and the cheekbones and the bump on the nose and the full lips, like that could also be. But I think what it is that she wore her hair like in a very traditionally indigenous sort of style, and with the head dress and the feathers and everything and the jewelry, that you just read it like she just looks native. But apparently she had very curly hair when she was younger, so I think she's just straightening her hair. Hi, Bon Ivers. Es geht mir gut, danke. Und dir? So yeah, I mean, what a total scam that she's been doing this. Hi, Elsie. Welcome. Yeah, can you believe? So like for 60 years, she's been running this scam, and she's been collecting awards as a native person when she knew the whole time she was a native. I mean, it's like, did she just sort of stumble into this not thinking it was gonna make a really big difference, and then realize, well, I can't backtrack now, I better just keep it up? Or did she do it intentionally? Did she know that this would help her succeed, and just sort of schemed her way through this thing? I think maybe she just at some point said, yeah, I'm native, and just whatever. Yeah, she didn't know the internet would be a thing. Of course not. I think without the internet and all these documentaries, she might have kept it up forever. She's 80 years old now. Actually, I think 83. But, oh, you're in Quebec. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you're out in Laval. I always joke about we should go to Laval for vacation. Because it's like, well, at least it's not Montreal, Go up to the little islands up there. Yeah, no, she's like 83, and she's been lying about being native for 60 years. Pretty, like, just mind-blowing. Yeah, Buffy, not a Saint Marie. But the thing is that, like, it just destroyed her relationship with her family. She didn't seem to mind at all. She just threatened them. Some people, when they get famous, like, everyone looks up to them. But if you think about it, it's not just celebrities like entertainers, but entertainers and also politicians. Think about it. Who gets to the top? You know what they say, nice guys finish last. It's the people that are really motivated, like really ambitious and driven, that will like step on other people, that will do whatever they have to do to get ahead. That's how we end up with all these assholes in power. It's because that's who gets to the top, Probably why Bernie Sanders will never be elected, because he's not that kind of a person. I wonder if she had surgery to like make herself look more native. Maybe she did. Put a lot of filler in here, Yeah, so there was an article at the time, Mountain Esoteric, that pointed out that folk singers get paid $50 for 3 hours, but a young Indian girl, meaning Buffy, gets paid $2,000. So I think she knew that she would just make a ton of money doing this, and she really didn't care. I mean, it was a different time. She's basically gone around in red face for 60 years, and she can still face the public and deny it even when all this has happened. And then she was like adopted by a Cree family for real. And so they say that makes her an Indian, like that makes her native, because she was adopted by them. Because I think she was telling them at the time that she believes that she came from this reservation, and that couple had 2 daughters that were taken away that they'd never seen again. And I think that they in their hearts wished that Buffy was one of them that had come back. I mean, that's so heartbreaking and sad. And you can imagine how painful, and to like have a child taken away and you don't know where they've gone. And then Buffy shows up and she's like, yeah, maybe I'm your daughter. And they, probably just wanted her to be their daughter. And I think they kind of knew that she wasn't. And they actually said it doesn't matter because we've taken her into the family. Hi, Joey. You like my hat? And so they adopted her. Um, and so based on that, everybody says it's legit that she's native. But I mean, look, one of my ex-boyfriends, Randy, he's native. He was adopted by a Jewish family. It doesn't make him ethnically Jewish. You know what I'm saying? So to go around doing this for all these years and on top of that, receiving awards, and she still is just like, oh, it's fine. That's all lies. I'm an Indian, or should I say native. Don't send me to the meat grinder, you know. Um, I mean, yeah, can you imagine lying that much, that long for, I guess, money? May have been influenced. Yeah, it could be that like some representative that she had at the time said, why don't you just tell them that you're native, tell them you're an Indian because you'll make more money. And she just went with it. And then once she went with it, she couldn't go back. It's possible. But I mean, how can you lie like that for your whole life? I'm just thinking, like, imagine, like, if I just lied about my identity, I don't think I could keep it up. No, she's not even Mexican. She's Italian. Yeah. So, no, you know, they're investigating, but she still denies it. I guess you could very easily settle it by making her take a DNA test. I'm kind of wondering whether they would do that because it's kind of fraud, really, to accept all these awards as a native person when you're not. Could they make her take a DNA test? Imagine. I don't know. I don't know if they can do that. If they did, though, I think it would just blow the whole thing up. But you know what? She's 83 years old. She's had this super long career. She's made tons of money. And I think at this point, she probably doesn't care. I mean, how much longer can she live? Another 10, 15 years, maybe? She's super old now anyway. She looks good, but still, you know? They had a picture of native chiefs, which could be part true, but at least one was actor Chief Dan George, who starred in Little Big Man and several native stories. Yeah, there's so much bullshit out there. Remember who always used to say the news was all fake? And then sometimes they would like pretend that they were on the scene in some country there was a war going on, and actually they're just like in a studio with sound effects. And you know what? Speaking of natives, you know one thing that always jumps out at me is you guys remember the Lone Ranger? And speaking of Mexican also, you remember the Lone Ranger? Remember what his sidekick was called? Tonto. Anyone here speak Spanish? I'll let you tell me in the comments if you know what tonto means in Spanish. And I mean, they put that right there on the TV. Like everyone's watching it. And like, yeah, Lone Ranger and Tonto. Yeah, exactly. It means stupid. How crazy. Literally, his native sidekick was called Stupid. Tonto. I mean, they had to know what they were doing. Hey, Kukum. Hey. We were just talking about Buffy St. Marie, who apparently is a pretendian. What do you think of that? As a native person yourself, being the Kokum. Pretty outrageous, isn't it? Should she give all those awards back now? Should they make her take a DNA test? Your cousin? She's your cousin? Okay, so you don't mind that she's pretending? She's Italian, turns out. She's not even native. She's a scammer. A scammer! She just catfished the whole world for like 60 years. That's what she just did. She literally just catfished. She should give them to you. Yeah, make reparations, give you the awards. Yeah. Something wrong here. There's another one too I want to talk about a little bit after we're done talking about Buffy. Yeah, they have like video footage of her when she was little. She looked like an Italian girl, you know. She was dark, olive skin complected, dark eyes, and curly dark hair. And she just looked like an Italian girl. And then she just fixed her hair a certain way and, I don't know, passed herself off as an Indian. I'm only saying that because that's what she said, in case someone gets offended. Okay, good. She's not your cuz. I was kind of wondering because she got adopted by this Cree family. I was just saying in Canada, and they fully adopted her as their daughter. And they said it didn't matter if she wasn't really, but I mean, I think when it comes to taking awards as a native person, you do have to be native. But like, how crazy is that? What was the name of that person who was like the captain of, or captain, I don't know, the president of the NAACP? What was her name with the curly hair there? Well, surprise. Um, no, well, actually, no, that she didn't necessarily have to have curly hair, but she did. It turns out she was a total faker. She was a catfisher. I forgot her name. Yeah, Rachel. Yeah. What was her last name? I'm too tired. I can't remember now. Yeah, Rachel from NAACP. Can you imagine? Like way up at the top. And she was not even black. She had a perm. I had a boyfriend once who was half Punjabi, and he used to play basketball with a lot of black guys. He had a perm and he wears hair like in a high top. Yeah, Rachel Dolezal. But I mean, I think everybody knew he was an Indian. But like, when he had his hair permed up like that, like you wouldn't know if he was with all his friends. He would just sort of blend in, which is what he wanted. But he didn't tell anyone he was black. He was just an Indian with a perm. I mean, Indian from India, Indian, my friend, you know. But yeah, I mean, Rachel Dolezal and now Buffy St. Marie. These people. Hi, les déplorables. Hi, Jenny. You like my hat? Thank you. It's a rainbow unicorn. This is such a big liberal here. Hey, how's it going? It's going. She looked way better with the tan. Did Rachel Dolezal have to get rid of her tan after she got outed? Did she have to get rid of her hair and her tan and make herself look more white? You have 6 nieces and a nephew. Okay, that's nice. That's great. I have a couple too. It's really nice. They're all, I feel almost like they're my kids. Zach King? I don't know. I don't even know about Zach King. You know, okay, Mountain Esoteric, I'm more accepting of unicorn self than transracial identity. No grants for unicorns available, at least. That whole thing with the pronouns, I think it's on its way out, though. I think, like, people have had enough. The whole, like, unicorn and unicorn self, like, I think it's really extinguishing at this point. It's in a mass extinction event. The pronouns are being, they're not pronouns anyway, first of all, those are nouns. And I think that we're at the end of that tunnel, you know? Oh, you're Haitian. Cool. Oh, you're in Laval. Right. And you speak French and Creole. Cool. Creole is so cool. It's awesome. So I'll be honest, sometimes I listen to Creole on the radio because, you know, we have all these different language stations here in Montreal. And I try to see what I can understand because there's a little bit of French in there. That's cool. I don't even know who Zach King is. I feel really out of it and really clueless right now. You're going to have to enlighten me. Buffy the Vampire. Oh, hey, Love. Hi. The other one I want to talk to you about, a magician. Oh, he's on trial now, right? Oh, wait. Is that the guy who like defrauded everyone with the cryptocurrency? Was that him? There's so many of these freaks out there. I don't remember who's who. Is that the guy? Yeah, there was a guy who like took everybody's money and cryptocurrency and then defrauded. No, that's not him. I don't know. You'll have to tell me who Zach King is. I didn't. I was busy selling clothes, I'll be honest. I am still keeping up with the COVID news. There's actually something really not good on that front. Maybe I'll just tell you a little tangent. I told you last time there's like tons of deaths lately. Like we've had like 10,000 excess deaths last year, and it looks like about 10 also this year. And oh, I can't remember which doctor it was who was talking about this, that there seems to be a trend now that certain people, I'm just a little tangent here, right? When they get COVID, and they don't get very sick, they don't go in the ICU, but they could die later. I think it was a study from Harvard. Thanks, love. I think was it, oh, there were so many. There was one study on Harvard for people who had, they called it post-vaccinal syndrome or something. It was like where afterwards they developed like basically like chronic fatigue syndrome, like, which is basically what I have, honestly. They developed something like that after their shots, and there was this huge study with like 300 people in it. I forget which study was which, but there was a study on that, and they were saying how, they went from being really healthy to having exercise intolerance, fatigue, brain fog, and paresthesias, like weird feelings, and that they looked at their mental health and discovered that their mental health was negatively affected. It's like, surprise, because I understand that, whether you get this as a reaction after the shot, which this apparently some people got, or whether it was from something else, when you're not feeling good and you can't function, it does make you anxious and depressed. So yeah, they're kind of looking into that, but they didn't call it a vaccine injury. They called it a post-vaccinal syndrome. A syndrome was like a cluster of symptoms. So there was that. And there was also this new discovery that people, yes, they don't end up in the ICU, but then they have a much higher chance of dying 3 months after they have had COVID. So it's not over yet. It's absolutely not over. It's kind of weird, right? Because in the beginning, if you look at the death rates, okay, the death rates went up in 2021, really high. They've been high since then. In 2020, comparatively, they were actually lower. I've seen our stat, and even Quebec was like one of the worst places for deaths in 2020, and still it's much higher after. So there's still definitely something going on, I don't even want to say what I think it is, although I've seen people talking about it. I've seen a lot of doctors talking about it. I don't want to, because I don't understand how their guidelines and their rules work around here, which is super not fun for me, that I have to watch how I phrase things. I'm not allowed to say my opinions, I guess, on where it originated, although I think everybody kind of knows it came from a lab at this point. Um, Probably not allowed to use words like, bioweapon. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say that at this point, so I'll make sure not to go in that direction. Yeah, and like, I don't want to say that there, like, anything had like a kind of compounding effect. Yeah, we want to be like super careful here, but let's just say not over. And I was very surprised the death rate was quite high. It was like, honestly, the study, it was like 3%. That's really high. That's crazy, considering this thing goes around all the time. That was just in that study, right? I'm not saying it's for all the time. Don't send me to the meat grinder. But remember in the very beginning, and they said that the death rate was 3 or 4%, and then it turned out it was much lower. Well, now in this particular study, they're finding that no, they don't die right away, but like in the 3 months after, they had 9 people out of 300 die. So that's 3%. So yeah, the deaths are really up. And this COVID and all that is still a factor. So, oh yeah, I know about the turbos too. Yeah, I told you one of my neighbors has a turbo now. Um, Man, I told you last time too, like a friend of mine, she said her father got a turbo, and then her husband got one, but it might not be a turbo. My other friend, boyfriend's father got the turbo, and then boyfriend's sister got something. Still with us, so we don't know if it's turbo, but yeah, it's still not over. There's a little tangent. Yeah, Buffy St. Marie, unbelievable, eh? Unbelievable. What nerve to go in public and keep that lie up for 60 years. She might be related to the alleged spy balloon? What? Oh, not Buffy St. Marie. Oh, you mean the COVID? The spy balloon. Yeah, I kind of remember that. Well, what's related to the spy balloon? I kind of like just vaguely remember the spy balloon. Maybe you can tell me more about it in the chat. They won't send you to the meat grinder. Yeah. I'm just as sick as I've always been, basically. I mean, I've had this chronic fatigue for like, I think 12 years now. And when I was listening to that lecture about the people who developed it, in that case, it was after the vaccine, but obviously there's people, I have a friend who, she got long COVID and she's been totally messed up for the last 2 years. And actually, like, to be honest with you, let me take my hat off here, because here's something I don't understand. Okay, she has a bird, and the bird had like tumors in its eye. She's not able to work, and she did a GoFundMe to raise money for the bird. I guess that people would give them money for the bird, but not for them. So maybe they could only do that if they spent the money on the bird. She asked me for money, and I thought, you could ask me for money for you. I can't believe that you would take money and spend it on a bird. Because if you're that unwell, you probably won't be able to work maybe forever. And you're going to have to get used to not spending money, and you won't be able to afford a $5,000 bird treatment. But she's never been poor before, so I guess she doesn't know how it works. But anyway, yeah, I've had that chronic fatigue for so long, and I saw that study and I was like, yeah, it is like that. And it's really weird, and it made me think about how it happened with me. You guys remember, like, way back in the beginning, I had so much energy. It was nothing for me to get up, deal with Gunner, go down, clean Aaron's place, give him a good shower, make him his lunch, come back upstairs and make videos, go pick up Gunner, go back, make us dinner, and then host a live radio show, and then go put Aaron to bed, like fix up all his stuff before he goes to bed, not like tuck him in. Although, yes, put him in bed and give him a kiss, but like, set him up for bed and then put the kid to bed, or the other way around. I could do that. Every day I would put out like 4 videos a week, 3 news plus 1 comedy. That would be like elaborate productions, with lots of editing and costumes. I had all that energy. And then something happened to me. And I wonder if it was because I got sick. Like, I'll never know, but something happened. And all of a sudden it was like, I just couldn't do it anymore. I cut down to 2 radio shows and 3 videos. And then it was 2 videos and 1 radio show. And then I stopped the radio altogether. And then it was like 2 videos, no radio. And it's just so hard. And it just doesn't get better. And I mean, a lot of things did get better when I had my implants taken out. And I'll probably do a video about that at some point. But I mean, I still have the fatigue. It's not painful like it was before. Like, I had that horrible pain in my arms and legs all the time. I don't even know how I went around. I just keep trucking. I just must be a trooper. But I still have chronic fatigue. Brain fog is better. Maybe since I got my implants out. That feels better. I remember you guys, when I came back after my surgery, and you're like, oh, it's like you gained 10 IQ points. Because I was like, ooh, I was in such a fog with the stupid silicone in there. But yeah, living with chronic fatigue, it just handicaps you. It really does. I have to like budget my energy. It's like I start out with a 25% battery, and I have to budget it for the day. Like, I know what I have to do, and there's only a few things I can do, and then I have no choice. I have to lie down, or like I'll be completely destroyed. Oh yeah, exercise intolerance. That was another thing. I've tried so many things. Today I took some zinc, and it seemed like it kind of helped a little bit. I've tried a lot of things. I have a bottle of CoQ10. Yeah, I've tried so many things. I think that I'm gonna have to go to an acupuncturist, and maybe that'll help, but I just keep plowing through the fatigue, honestly. I'll just like budget and budget my energy. Some things won't get done. Like, maybe the shopping won't get done that day, or my taxes will be late, or my house isn't clean. But I try to focus on what's, the most important. Keep Aaron out of the hospital. Try to get Gunner at school. Take care of my mom, which mostly they do it, but take care of what else they don't do. And try to make some money so that we can live, right? Anything else, even like putting makeup on my face, that takes energy. So that's low on the list of things to do and not important. Believe it or not, like, when you have chronic fatigue, literally just putting makeup on your face like sucks your energy. So, as you were saying, how am I doing? Still have this problem, but I think that because of COVID, it's drawn attention to chronic fatigue. It's a thing that you live with, that nobody knows what you're dealing with because you look fine, and it just makes you look like you're lazy. And then when you try to get answers, no one can figure it out. So it looks like it's all in your head, but it's a real thing. And because of this whole COVID thing, now they're kind of paying more attention to it. I've even considered that I could say that I've been like this since I had COVID, and then I could get into the COVID clinic, and then they take me seriously. Maybe they figure out what it is, but I don't know if they can though. It's really weird. I don't know what happened. Again, I mean, I know quite a lot about health in general, like maybe more than the average person, because when I was young, I wanted to be a nutritionist. So I studied a lot of medical things. So I kind of have like way more background. I took classes and stuff in science and all that. I read a lot. And so I knew to ask for thyroid and to like check about my hormones and like ask all these different things. Um, but in the end, like there was really nothing that just fixed it. And there usually isn't. Like people who end up with that, there's no easy fix. It's just how it is. Yeah, it's like everything's exhausting. Like everything you do, like runs down that battery a bit more. And the thing is that you can't just push through it because you'll end up like really like debilitated. I've learned uh that if I just push through it, then I could end up like really like incapacitated for 2 or 3 days. It's crazy. So uh I mean, but like it's crazy because I'm like a really hard worker. I always had like 3 jobs. I've always been like a busy person, a hard worker. I've never even been comfortable. Just like I can't even watch TV. I can't even do it because I just get so bored. Like it's like I always have to be doing something productive. So I'm the last person to be lazy. But yeah, yeah, I still haven't figured that out. I'll have to give you like more of an update on that. I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it in the live. I was like, no, I'm going to make an actual video and give a proper update about what happened after I had my implants removed. But I mean, since you're here and I'm already talking about it, I could tell you the breathing problem went away. The shortness of breath went away. The whole thing where I would get this like racing heart and my blood pressure would drop and I would faint sometimes, that went away. The panic attacks that I mean, yeah, I still get like anxiety somewhat, but that stuff went away. And that like horrible aching pain that I had in my arms and legs that I was almost like crying because of it last Christmas when I did Vlogmas, that went away. I still get the dizziness a little bit. The brain fog got better. It's really not that bad now. It's not where it was before, but it's definitely an improvement, so I'll take what I can get. The the fatigue didn't go away. It didn't really, unfortunately. But I kind of wonder whether some of that had to do with just my horrible sleep disorder because when I had the surgery and they put me under, do I still have metal fillings? I have a couple. I got most of them out. When they put me under, I it was like that was probably the first time I'd had like a really deep sleep in a really long time because I have this restless leg syndrome, and so it's like your sleep is constantly being interrupted. And I remember for like the week after my surgery, I felt like completely rejuvenated and filled with life. And I even said, I don't feel like I'm dying anymore. And I felt really good, even though I was recovering from the surgery. Yeah, I woke up all refreshed. I did. And after a while, though, the fatigue started to creep back, and they gave me a prescription for clonazepam, and I never took it. I just had it sitting around, and then one day I was like, okay, I'm super wired because I don't know. I've been running on adrenaline, and I really can't sleep. I'm gonna take one of those pills. I took the pill, and it was like I slept like a bear. And the next day, I felt like a normal person. I took it a couple more times, and I remember had this week where I was like, oh my God, it's really my sleep. Like I just have horrible sleep because this neurological condition. And and then I thought, wow, this is really great. But then I realized like, no, you can't take this pill all the time because you get addicted and it's like a nightmare. There's all these videos about people getting addicted to benzos and it's really bad. So no, I take lots of vitamin D. Trust me with the vitamins there. Like it's not the vitamin D. It helps for some things, but not for this. But the the fact that like I was so much more functional after I took that clonazepam made me think that some of what was wrong with me was because I was being poisoned by my implants. It has definitely improved, and some of it is from stress, I think, because it gets worse with Gunner's. Oh, it's so intense with him sometimes you have no idea. And then the third part is the sleep. And if I can drug myself to get a good enough sleep, then I'm actually like quite okay. But I just can't do that very often because, you know, obviously, even though it's prescription medication and I use it as prescribed, I don't want to overdo it, you know? Oh my God, benzos are horrible, Mountain Esoteric. No, they're horrible. I saw these documentaries about people got hooked on them and it's like the withdrawal never goes away. That's awful. Oh my God, it was like years later and they were still totally screwed up. That's really bad. And I don't know. I mean, I've had the prescription a long time. I never really knew it was that bad. I knew you don't want to overdo it because it'll stop working, and then you'll need it to sleep. But I didn't realize it was like that bad. But apparently, yeah, it's really bad. No, it's not melatonin. Trust me, you guys, whatever those supplements are, like I've tried them. It's a neurological thing. It's because of a part of your brain doesn't use iron the way it's supposed to. So like I don't know what the iron does in this part of the brain, but either if you're iron deficient or your brain just doesn't do what it's supposed to do with the iron, it causes you to have like this weird like crawling and like your arms are like twitching around and your legs. And I mean most people just get it in the legs, but I'll get it the legs, the back, you know, even my shoulders, my arms. It's just like a really weird like uncomfortable like crawly feeling that you can't stop moving. So that's, you know, I do manage to fall asleep with it, but apparently my body is like jerking like every 15 seconds while I'm sleeping all night. I took Xanax once in my life and I blacked out. It was really scary. Like I blacked out as in I didn't remember what happened at all and never took it again. Hi, Divine Entity. You just got your what? It's hiding behind the heart. Your brats just got their brats to bed. Yay. Yay for getting the brats to bed. Yeah, well, melatonin, when you have this, it can make it worse. Like, I took it once and my legs got super twitchy. It's not about like, you know, just like unwind and go to sleep. It's like your body is like twitching and jerking all night while you're sleeping. Your brain, your mind is gone, and your body's like all the time. So it's some kind of like sleep disorder. Anyway, the drugs are great. I just wish I could take them more often. You know, so I don't know. But yeah, like I think chronic fatigue is a mysterious condition. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why I have it because no one else is going to do it for me. Obviously, I mostly get gaslit. Uh, but it's really weird because I had the Jimmy legs since my pregnancy, and I was totally fine up until. Wait, oh my God, you guys. Wait, no, it was after that. No. No, it was up until Gunner was about 5. Hi, Sodom Adam. So it was like I was okay for 5 years, even though I had it. I was still very functional and I was making all these videos and stuff. Till Gunner was 5, so that was like around. Oh wait, no, that was 2012. Oh well, I do remember when he was 5. I remember the year that he was 5. I remember when I put him in school, and I remember being so exhausted and thinking I could just drink more juice and it would get better. And like juicing, because I was really into like raw food and all this healthy stuff, and it didn't do it. And even all those years where I made the gym videos, that didn't fix it either. Um, yeah. What, deadly nightshades? What should I what should I do about deadly nightshades? Yeah, no, like even if I have a good circadian rhythm, it's totally not related to that. It's not about that. It's like a neurological condition. So yeah, Buffy, yeah, she's lying. What makes her family trustworthy? Not knowing if the son did that? Well, I mean, look, here's the fact that she's probably a liar because they did find her birth certificate and everyone else is now saying, well, no, she was not adopted. There's no evidence she was adopted. We know that she's been lying for 60 years, so why would she, she didn't actually accuse her brother directly of that. As far as I know, she threatened him that she would accuse him. I think she maybe just kind of said that maybe she said she was abused just like to spin another narrative, or maybe she was abused by someone else. But when she said it to her brother, it was really like, if you say that about me, I'm going to say this about you and I'm going to ruin you. Like what, hi Sharon in Iowa. Like what else could you say to, like, what could you threaten someone with? That would be like the worst thing. Oh, and speaking of that, I wanted to mention about Peter Nygard, the old fashion mogul. I was just looking at this on the CBC. Guilty verdict against Peter Nygard in Toronto. His hair looks horrible. He looks like an old vampire. I want to show you. After I take a hit off my vape. Yeah. Here, let me just flip the camera around. I'm so like low tech old school. Look at him. What the heck is going on with his hair? That's so disgusting. What was his name? Tom Cruise in the Vampire Lestat. If the Vampire Lestat stopped staying young forever, this is what he would look like. Peter Nygard looks like he's about 120 years old. What is that like bumbaclat in his hair right there? That is so weird. Blah. Looks disgusting. Anyway, yeah, so Peter Nygard was guilty of being a perv. Disgusting. I know, like, blah. What's up with that hair? I mean, that's pretty bad. Like, I thought my kid had bad hair and my man, but this is like really extreme. Maybe it's a fashion statement. But anyway, yeah, this is quite something because this is a lot like with Jeffrey Epstein and what was the name of that other big perv in Hollywood? The one that, I think he was a Jewish guy. Forgot his name now. There was a couple of, oh wait, no? Was it coming to me? You guys tell me. Yeah, they found him in a dungeon. God, who knows? With probably a bunch of sex toys or something. Phil Spector? Harvey Weinstein. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay. So there's Harvey Weinstein, then there was the whole Jeffrey Epstein. And now this guy. And this was huge. And his son knew. It said former fashion mogul Peter Nygard is driven from Toronto court after hearing testimony in his SA trial. It's YouTube here. Can't say a word. On Sunday, he was found guilty of 4 counts of SA following the 6-week trial. So I had seen an interview with his son, and people were saying, oh, hey, Murdy, how's it going? Yeah, I'm doing okay, thanks. How are you? People were saying to the son, like, what's up with this camera? Why won't it stay? Like, this is so crazy. Can't get it to stay. People were saying to the son, like, why didn't you say anything? But he was trying to tell them that these people were so powerful. You couldn't say anything. I believe it. It's kind of like the reason I'm bringing this up is like, it's like with Buffy St. Marie. She's so rich. She's so powerful. Could her family really say anything at a certain point? I don't think so. She has these very expensive, high-powered lawyers, but she would have just ruined them. But with Peter Nygard, his son was saying it was like this whole, basically a conspiracy of all these very rich, powerful people. And if you said anything, you would just be completely ruined. That's what the son said. So the investigation into Peter Nygard was open in June 2020. 8 cases for consideration. Okay, this was in Manitoba. who decided at that point not to pursue criminal charges. They were laid, though, the charges after the matter was forwarded to Saskatchewan Justice for an independent review in December 2022. So Manitoba was like, nah, forget it. And they sent it over to Saskatchewan, and they decided to do a review in December 2022. So it's like he almost got away with it. So the charges were laid by Serena Hicks, who said he had SA'd her at one of his, but severely, at one of his retail outlets in Winnipeg, where she worked in 1992, and she was one of 8 women who reported her story to Winnipeg police, but Nygard was never charged in her case. Hicks said she's been pleading with Manitoba government to launch an inquiry into what happened in this province. Aaron is calling me. Gunner! Gunner! I have to tell him to call Aaron, otherwise he's going to keep calling me. He should know I go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I told him I was going live. It's okay. I'll have Gunner call. Just give me a second. Gunner! Please call Daddy right now. Call him and see what he needs, okay? Check if it's something urgent, because tell him I'm on live, okay? Well, can you give him the Roho? It's right here in the green bag. No, it's right there. Oh, he just wants his cushion, his Roho for his wheelchair, which I went up to the rehab center to bring his broken one in, and they gave him a new one to borrow, which is cool. He was very happy about that. And yeah, it took me like 5 days to get up there, because every day, like, it would be afternoon, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. I can't even move. I'm sorry, Aaron, I can't even do it. So finally today I got it done. So that's what he wants. She says, this is where he started. This is where he perfected it. There's a lot of people that are still alive that helped him. In addition to the Winnipeg charges, Nygard is set to stand trial on SA charges in Quebec next year. Also appealing an extradition order to the United States, where he faces trafficking and racketeering charges. He's pleaded not guilty to all the charges in his Toronto trial. Denies all the allegations. Well, his son says that he is guilty. But yeah, like, this has been going on for years. It says these women have been waiting for 30, 40, more than 40 years for justice. I think we're like sometimes I think, are we in different times? All these old moguls that were getting away with murder for so many years, they're getting busted. You know, some of the things that would just get swept under the rug like 20 years ago, now they're being brought to court. But on the other hand, I think, well, maybe those things are, but there's a lot of other stuff that still goes on that there's no justice for it whatsoever. But I mean, it was different. Like, even that school that I went to in the States, in Massachusetts, back in the 80s, what they did with us kids, I don't think that would fly now. You know, at the time, it was like, it almost seems like Wild West of abusing people. You could just do all kinds of things and get away with it, even with kids. You know, these schools were running, and the director of the school I was in, he was even on Oprah. He was even on the cover of Time magazine, like a hero. You know, I knew Peter Nygard was a big perv, and that's why I refused to thrift his clothes. I don't sell any of that stuff because it's so disgusting. Have I ever considered back stem cell therapy for Aaron? No, because he has other injuries, and if he ever regrew his spinal cord, which, I mean, at this point he doesn't even care, he'd probably be in a lot of pain. He has also no bones connecting his thighs to his hips. Usually people have a hip replacement, they cut the top of the bone off and they replace it with porcelain. Well, in his case, they cut it off, but they didn't replace it because he's in a wheelchair, so they just cut it. So his his legs are, he has his legs, but the bone inside doesn't go into the joint. There's nothing there. It's like if you took it off to the wrist and it's just a bone and a joint up here, right? So there's no point. So there, I answered your question. People have asked me that before. Would you say you can see that often these important people don't have to show up to court until they are no longer as useful or active in the economy? Maybe it's true. What happened at the school? Well, I was in like this experimental school. If you want to know, I've talked about it before, but if you want to know, go watch the documentary about Paris Hilton called This Is Paris. She was like kidnapped by the school staff in the middle of the night. That didn't happen to me. I was just sort of manipulated, like just conned into going there willingly. Showed up with my blue trunk thinking it was going to be okay. These schools were like experimental, like therapeutic, with very questionable techniques and rather abusive to the children. So just go watch the documentary about Paris Hilton. It'll give you a good idea of what my school was like. I think hers was more harsh, in some ways, at least. Reform school girls? It wasn't a reform school. It was an experimental school. There were a lot of guys and girls there. And you'd get stuck. Like, I had to literally run away when I was 19. I was already an adult. I still had to run away in the middle of the night to get out of there, get over the border, and get back to Canada. There were some people who were stuck there for 8 years. It's awful. I mean, it wasn't like it was all bad all the time, but it was basically like the mindset of a cult and like a lot of cult techniques. Yeah, Massachusetts. Yeah. And I came back as an Anglo. I was educated in French here. I went down to Massachusetts. I was like in an English environment for like over 3 years. And I was like a proper Anglo when I came back. Yeah, I was in Massachusetts. Why? Why are you saying no? Why? Do you know about it? It was a mansion in the Berkshires. Stockbridge. They had a campus in Florida too. I should have gone. It would have been nice weather. Would have been probably better than Massachusetts. Yeah, it was very like you could just do whatever you wanted. No, it wasn't like the charter school of the arts. Mike, yeah, sorry to hear that. It sounds awful. So, I mean, you guys, that's what I wanted to talk about. Basically, was about Buffy and also about Peter Nygard, and just like, oh my God, these people. Oh, update also about the COVID and my chronic fatigue, which, yeah, maybe I'll. What do you think? Should I like just say that I have chronic COVID? Should I just say that the start after COVID? My doctor would know. He'd be like, "That's not true. You've been complaining about this for 10 years." I'll be like, "No, but it was the COVID. Send me to the clinic." Did I see the Hampstead Files? No. Why? Is that about experimental schools or something, Murdy? I'm going to wait, Hampstead, like in Montreal? Okay, I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. What are the Hampstead Files? Tell me. Let me should I put my hat back on? So you guys can enjoy my rainbow unicorn hat. Like how cute it is. Oh, I'm so disappointed with the world. Oh my God, I'm going to be so cynical in my old age. Buffy St. Maria's a fraud. Peter Nygard's a pervert. No, it wasn't MK Ultra. It was nothing like that. They didn't like turn us into super soldiers. It just like destroyed us. So we came out all. You can always say it got worse. It did get worse. It got worse after I left. There was a kid who had pneumonia and they put him in the corner. But they put him in the corner and they left him there for like 3 weeks. And he got pneumonia while he was in the corner. He got really, really, really sick. Finally, they took him to the hospital. They never took anyone to the hospital. They took him. And they said he has pneumonia. And when they brought him back to school, instead of putting him in his bed, they put him back in the corner. That's how it was. There's an idea. A Rife machine. I don't have one, but you know what? Let me write that down. I just don't know whether it's worth it for me to like invest in any more like machines and things. I have this friend, she has all kinds of cool gadgets. Like she has this like mat that has some kind of, I don't know, some kind of electric therapy or something, and you lie on this mat and that's supposed to be good. And oh, we just got, where is it? Where did I put it? Oh my god, I hope I didn't lose it. Oh, we got a sad light for Gunner because he's been having a really hard time with the time change, and it's been very hard for him to like, his circadian rhythm's completely screwed up. This happens every year, and this year, okay, today he went to school for part of the day. That's really good, but it's been very hard. His sleep schedule is like totally messed up. So I got him a sad light, which is like an LED light that it's supposed to replicate sunlight. So in the morning now he puts it on his face to trick his brain to thinking it's summer. What's this? Oh, I've never heard of Peter Glinsky. You want to buy one, what, a Rife machine? Yeah, like if I had a lot of money, I'd probably buy a lot of those things. I think what I'm gonna do at this point, I'm gonna try acupuncture. I mean, I do feel better since I got the implants out. I love my boobs. They're amazing. They look so good. Look, I mean, look, I'll show you my sweater. You've seen this before, but look, can you believe this is after having the implants out? Look, they look so natural. Like, yeah, they're smaller, but they look great? I think they look so much better. So that's one, that they're all like nice and natural, and I mean they're not as huge as they were, but they look so like natural now. I just love that. And I love that I don't have plastic in here anymore. Like I used to feel it here, like it was up here and it was like this hard paperweight, and I hated that. I can't live with hats. That's why I don't wear wigs, even though I could use one. As cute as the hat is, I can only deal with having it on for like 5 minutes. Yeah, I used to hate that. I could feel it, and then when I'd lie down, the implant would like, it was up here and it would like slide over like under my arm. And that was awful. But look, all this rack. Yeah, it's great. I love that. I'm so glad they're out. Like the best thing. And I didn't get dementia. I was worried because what happened to my mom, she had hers out and she got dementia right after because she had all those blood transfusions and something went wrong. I told you guys before, she was probably going to get it anyway, but it like created a lot of inflammation or something and just kicked it off. You can't see too well. I'm really thrilled. They're really good. I'm wearing a black t-shirt. Well, I mean, you know, like my body is not obviously perfect, but I'm very happy with how the surgery turned out. It was great. I mean, there's some improvements, but I still have this problem with like fatigue. It's so crushing sometimes. It seems like when I get up in the morning, I'm really great and I want to get going on things and I'm good for about 3 hours. So I'm like really ass busting, you know, like busting my ass for the first 3 hours. And then it's just kind of like, it crashes, but it's like all over my body. It's just like, oh my God. And I have to lie down and I have to wait till it recharges a bit. And then I might get a second wind for part of the afternoon. And then by like dinner time, it's like, it's hard for me to even stand up and cook. I cooked so much this last weekend. Would you say? It's what you say, not what you look like. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait, I want to show you this before I get rid of them. Speaking of the implants, hold on. Where are they? They were here. They were right over here. I wanted to show you what happened to them. Where did I put them? They were sitting here for so long. I think I moved them. Like, give me a second. Oh, here they are. This is so weird, okay? I heard about this, and when I got them taken out, okay, they were like these full bags. The liquid inside was clear. There was no mold, or there was like a tiny bit of like little white floaters, but it looked pretty much like okay. I think only the chemicals from the actual implant maybe were leaking into me. But look what happened to them just from sitting around. What the heck is this? First of all, they flattened out. Look, where did it go? Where did the liquid go? I wanted to see if this was really going to happen. I've seen some women that they got them out and like within a couple of weeks they start flattening, and mine were like full the whole time. Now it's been, wait, when did I, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's been about like 6.5 months. But look at this. They flattened out. And look. It's like, oh yeah, I know. It's like there's float. This one's really bad. Look what was in this one. Can you see? It's like black, gray mold in there. I don't know how well you guys can see it. You see that? That's inside. I didn't even touch it. There's like a black, grayish mold inside. Yeah, nice Christmas ornaments. Yeah, Anita. Yeah. Hang them on the tree. Look at them, like saggy old balls, you know. They started out looking good, and look at them now. They look like shit. Hang these balls on the Christmas tree. Yes, I know, but you know, I know it's gross, but I really wanted to see, like, as an experiment, what would happen. Oh, wait, no, some of that's on the outside. Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is the silicone breathable? I'm wondering. Well, there's definitely floaters inside it, though. I can see them. It looks like, you know, like lemonade, like with all the floaters in it. They were full of saline, and as long as they were inside me, somehow they stayed full. If it's breathable, that would mean that stuff can go in and out of it. If whatever was inside leaked out into the air and evaporated, that wouldn't that mean though that it was also able to like exchange with my body while it was inside? Because if this was really like a sealed container that didn't exchange whatever's inside with the outside environment, then they shouldn't have done this. But I'm kind of wondering whether, as long as they're inside your body, because you are made of, what do they say, 87 or 97% water, that you kind of, your body like keeps that water in there. But I don't know, man. I don't know what this means. But look at that. Ugh. They deflated. There's only like a tiny bit of water in the bottom. And I didn't do anything to it. Look at that. Pretty soon they're going to deflate all the way. Can you imagine? I had this plastic rubbery stuff in my body for 17 years. And I'm probably still like detoxifying from it. I did get some LPG massages. And that like releases toxins. And you have to drink a lot of water after to flush them out. It is a petri dish. And it's got something in it. But excuse me, guys, it was the 90s. So we did do a lot of crazy stuff back then. And it's just like kind of, you know, like the story with Buffy St. and with even Peter Nygard and the school that I was in. It was a different time. I think there is more transparency now about some things. Back then, it was kind of like, you know, people knew that people lied and people did terrible things, and you just didn't talk about it. There was like, in a way, there was less justice, you know? If you were a victim, probably you would be the one whose character would be called into question. And when it came to stuff like this, they were just like, yeah, it's safe. And I was like, okay. I didn't even ask, honestly. I didn't even ask. Yeah, sell them on Poshmark. That's great. Oh my God. I think that would ruin me instantly. I'll put it on eBay, though. Somebody probably want it. No, I don't know. Can you do that? Marketplace, imagine. Oh my gosh. Offer up these used breast implants. Maybe you can clean them and reuse them, and then you'll save some money. Sell them for $20. But I mean, look, I hear about women selling everything from their toenail clippings to their farts in jars. I'm not kidding. You can sell just about anything. So why not a breast implant? So I just want to know where do I sell this? Because I want some money for it, you know? Should have sold them before when they were all nice and juicy. Now they look old. Anyone want an old ball sack looking breast implant for their Christmas tree? Oh, I know. Yes, I make ornaments. I have to like decorate them and then I can sell them as art. And if anybody questions it, then I'll just say that they're offending me and they don't understand art and they're repressing my self-expression, and I'll just somehow make it about my gender and yeah, and like this is like a women's issue, so this will be like my feminist art piece. Yeah, maybe I'll take it to Concordia and ask them if they want to put it on display down at the Visual Arts Pavilion. I mean, or I could just put them in the garbage, but you know me, I don't like to throw things out. I mean, it's no good for the environment. There's got to be some way I can recycle them. I need to be in sales. Well, I am in sales now. I've been doing super well with that too. I mean, for me, you know, like some people do more, but today I sold this awesome, okay, I always end this by showing you some of my merch. No, real estate. No, because you have to make appointments with people. I don't have to show up somewhere. That sucks. Hold on a second. Wait, I'm going to show you my Poshmark closet. Here's my closet. If you want to see what I've been selling, just do just in and see all, including the sold ones, and you're going to see like which ones have sold, and some of them have been like sold pretty quickly. I have the same name as your sister-in-law. What, Sonia? Oh, I like that name now. I used to hate it when I was a kid. I wanted to be called something normal like Debbie. I'm glad though that I didn't get Debbie. I mean, you know, Debbie's a nice name too, but I kind of like Sonia now. It's kind of cool because it's very international. Debbie Gibson. Wasn't she like a singer or something? Yeah, I like Sonia because it's like it's a Russian name and it's Spanish and it's even Indian. It's like super international. It's German. They have it in Quebec too. We have Sonias here. Oh, I don't. Yeah, you like my picture? Thank you. I put up the nice one from that, the one that I use on YouTube, so you all know it's me. But yeah, it's Sonia with an I, Murdy. Sonia, like in French. Hold on a second. Let me see what I sold today. I discovered it really does work if you have some items that are kicking around your closet and you haven't been able to sell them, relist them. It works. How come it's only showing me the ones that are available? I'm sure I had some. Oh, wait. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, it's because I'm on. Oh, yeah, no, all items. Okay, I'll do sold items. I'm going to show you what I just sold. I love this. This was such a cool thing. Look, I found this. Lululemon limited edition hoodie. Actually, look, I'll just turn the camera around to show you. It'd be much easier. Look, there's me. See how weird? Okay, here's my closet. Okay, I'll show you some of the things that I sold lately. Like this I sold today. Where is it? Where's my cursor? Oh, here. Lululemon limited edition hoodie with fur trim. This thing was so special. I sold it for $62. But I don't get to keep all of that, obviously. I think I get $45. And I think I paid about 15 for it. So I made 30 bucks. See, it's like you see this high price and then there's the shipping and the taxes, but the reseller only gets like a part of that, obviously. I sold that gorgeous Desigual shirt. And this was a denim maxi skirt in 2X, which is something I'm always looking for because I've discovered that long plus size denim skirts are definitely in demand. And these shoes, which I had for a very long time. And I was thinking somebody should buy them because they're really comfortable. They're suede shoes. And I finally sold this hat. This was Gunner's hat, which she almost never wore. Yeah, this was today. This was like a few days ago. This was yesterday. This was yesterday. The shoe. And this was yesterday. So I had 3 sales yesterday. And the day before that, I had these 2. This is a Columbia puffer vest. And this, look, Eileen Fisher silk tunic top. I sold it for 20 bucks because it had just some little tiny pulled threads, but seriously, I just wanted to clear out the closet. And those Uggs that somebody lowballed me on, look what I sold them for. I relisted them and I sold them for 87. So not bad. She was offering me, what was it? Not even $40 per item. I think like $35 per item. Something like that. She wanted to pay $35 for these fabulous $300 boots. And I said no. Well, I tried to negotiate. And look, it was worth it. And I sold these, which I kind of thought Aaron might use, but they're real suede, but they're not sheepskin inside. So I sold them for, wow, 48. Not bad. Not bad at all. So I get like 35, and I think I paid 10 or 15. So I made 20 bucks. And then I bought him some like this, but that real sheepskin, and I bought them on Poshmark for like 50 bucks. I sold that little hat, and I sold these. And these boots, I really restored them. Like I cleaned the leather and I treated it, and I took this part inside out, and I really did a good job. And she gave it 5 stars. She was very happy. And I sold these vintage long gloves. And also this was a vintage scarf. And this dress, which I had for like since last summer, and I finally sold it. She was super happy. I gave it to her for 40 bucks. And this was mine. And that Kate Spade bag that I bought way back, like in maybe March, I finally sold it. I just sold it for 50 bucks. I think I paid 30. So I just made 10 bucks on it, but it's fine. And this, the guy bought it and then like he opened a case to return it. And he said that the front was a lot shorter than the back. And I got it. And you know what? It wasn't true. It's just small. There's nothing wrong with the vest. It really just didn't fit him. But he made this case that it didn't function as it was supposed to. And he returned it. It still shows up as sold, but actually I've relisted it. This awesome 0.0 ladies coat, super good quality. So, I mean, these were some of the sales I had recently. This thing sold really fast too. It was, it's it's like a velvet vest. It's so beautiful. What else? This sold like very fast. I think the same day that I listed it. Let's see, what else did I have here? Yeah, this sold the same day I listed it. That was like really, really fast. That gorgeous blouse, instant sale. And this also, I think it was only up for like a week. It's kind of a mixed bag. These were sitting there for months, relisted, sold within like a week, the shoes. So that's some of the sales I got. Where you were saying, how does this work? It's Poshmark. Well, yeah, he complained it was a crop top. But hold on a second. let me put available, because you know what? When I got it back, it does say men's on it, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it has like an elasticy kind of thing around the bottom. So when you put it on, it's supposed to be a little bit blousy in the back, because I think that if it wasn't a little longer in the back, then when you lean over, it would ride up. So it's made this way on purpose. But I tried it on Gunner and his friend, and honestly, it is so small. I can understand why he was like, "What the hell?" Um, can I make you a mod? Yeah, I guess so. Oops. Why not? I've known you for what, only 10 or 12 years? I can make you a mod. Okay, there you go. You're a mod. Thanks, Murdy. Does it qual you can price higher next time? Yes and no. You know, I love it. I love the look of it. It's not like super trending. I think it's kind of thing that some people just really like. But the fact is, uh, Poshmark is really just like a thrift store. It's like you buy it at the thrift store and you do flip it, but unless it's something very, very trending and a very, very good brand, um, yeah, you can't really flip it for that much. I mean, like that Lululemon hoodie that was $195 originally, and I sold it for 62. For me, that's a good price. I think originally I had it listed at like 82 or something, or 85. But I mean, in the end, you know, you can wait longer and see if you get more for it. You might wait a much longer time, or you can just make. Usually, you're trying to make $20 profit on the item. Whatever you paid, if you paid 5, you're trying to get 25 back. If you paid 20, you know, you want to get 40 back. Although ideally more, but usually a $20-$25 profit is considered really good. I mean, sometimes it's good to just flip it, you know, and just get rid of it. Like I have this one sweater dress. She asked me if I would sell it to her for 15 with 99 shipping. Now, if I actually do that and give her a shipping discount, I'm going to come out with like $6 or $7. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait till Friday, and I'm going to drop it on the closet clear out, and I'm going to get $11 for it, and it's fine. Because it's nothing like really special. It's just an H&M sweater dress. You know, the brands at the thrift store, I told you this before, like the brands at the thrift store thinks like they should mark up, like American Eagle Outfitters, Banana Republic. Like that stuff doesn't, H&M, that stuff doesn't even sell for much on Poshmark. Nobody wants that. I mean, they do, but they want it at a cheap price. Desert Wall, it's kind of niche, you know. What's more popular is like Columbia, North Face, Arc'teryx. If you find an Arc'teryx jacket, you're gonna make money. If you find an Arc'teryx jacket in the thrift store for like $20, you're probably gonna be able to sell it for like a couple hundred. What's this? Oh, your father died in 1976. Oh, sorry to hear. Sorry for your loss. Oh, you lost your sister. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, and your husband and your mother. Wow. Well, I'm sorry for that. It was a it was a really bad time. You had friends who buy stuff on clearance and sell them online. Yeah, people do that too. Definitely. I think sometimes it's worth it. What? Marie Rolande, you have 5 kids, 10 grandchildren, 9 great grandchildren. So you're a great grandmother? Wow. That's amazing. That's so cool. That's cool. Well, happy to have you in the chat. I'm like honored. We have a matriarch here. That's really cool. 5 kids, 10 grandkids, and 9 great grandchildren. Yeah, that's really great. I'm just looking at your comments here. Um, so yeah, sometimes I don't care, you know, like the Free People blouses. It would be really great if I was getting them super cheap, but I'm not. I mean, I'm paying like $10 for them. I'm listing them at 50. I'm hoping to get 50. If they're sitting around for a really long time and somebody offers me 35, I get 28 for that. What? 28? Yeah. Yeah. If they pay 35, I only get 28, which means I get 18 bucks. So it looks like you're making a ton of money, but you're not. You have to somewhat sell a lot of stuff, you know. Um, there's some people who just specialize in like really expensive niche brands and they don't have to sell as much merch, you know. But I like to just sell what I like, the stuff that I actually enjoy. Remember this? Christmas is about getting drunk and stoned with friends and family, people that you love. I'm gonna have to list it, although I do want to have Anita wear it. But look, sometimes this is something else that I've done. This one. Okay, this I bought for not very much. This is a really expensive brand. Okay, like Soya and Kyo, their jackets can be like, well, at least $300 for this, maybe 400. I had one that was worth like 400 and something. I sold it for 100 and something. Now, this thing, somebody altered it. They took these buttons and they moved them over. So it's supposed to be extra large. I mean, that's a great size. Like it's my size actually, but larger size items usually you get better dollar for them because there's a lot of like extra smalls floating around out there for some reason. So I put it on and I was like, how come it doesn't fit? I'm extra large, the jacket's extra large. What's going on? And I realized that someone had moved the buttons all the way here. So they're supposed to be like here. But I'm really good at sewing. So, you know, I'll buy something like this. I'll put in the work to fix it. You'll never know. And I could probably, maybe I can get $100 for it, which is $80 minus what I paid for it. So, you know, the jackets and the boots I find it's really worth it. I found like that's where I got the most profit was jackets and boots. And some of them, like if you find a really, really special sweater, like this is really, really special. This is a vintage Ralph Lauren, like Navajo style, and it's 1980s. I guess it's made in Hong Kong. So this is listed for 125. I probably won't get that much for it, but I think that if I don't go for a low ball and I leave it up, I could get 85 for sure. And I've seen this for $300 on eBay. 300. This is like a really, really rare vintage designer item. So you find good things and you can make some money. In case you didn't see it, I'll show you this one more time. Oh, this also. You guys have seen this, right? The vintage Colmar one-piece snowsuit. Vintage 80s. This is worth some money. If somebody wants it, probably somebody will want it. Where's that other sweater that's so fabulous? I just reorganized this rack. This thing, I only paid $10 for it. It's at Dale of Norway, and it's got pewter clasps on it, and it's just gorgeous. And I've seen this listed for $185. They're really expensive new. It would be like $250, $300. So I'm offering it for I think $125, something like that. So it's still a good bargain if you want that kind of sweater, you know. So basically that's it. My strategy is like looking at what what has sold in the past. I'm trying to do it again. Like, wait, I have one more thing here. See, I had a velvet jacket. It sold very fast. Look what I found. I found another velvet jacket. So, of course, I grabbed it because these things seem to sell very quickly. It's very small, though. The other one was an extra large. This one's an extra small. Oh, but it's so soft. Oh, my God. Oh, it's just the most gorgeous texture. I got to list this. I haven't done it yet. And then here's another thing. Certain designers like this one, Diane von Furstenberg, and it's pretty current. So that also, you can get more money for that. But I mean, some of the ones that I picked up, like these cute little vintage Guess blouses, I won't get that much for this. I could list it for like 35. Maybe I'll get 25, you know. So I'll make like $15 off it. Yeah, I mean, I'm basically getting better at knowing what to. The silk one with the silk velvet blazer, it's so gorgeous. Yeah, the snowsuit's really cool. So somebody was asking me if I have a model. No, I have a mannequin, but some of them are stock photos. Michael Jackson would have loved that with the snowsuit. Oh, silk one. Oh, that's what he would have loved? What, this? And I also, okay, I got the Soya and Kyo jacket, which I have to repair. But I also got a really nice Rudsack coat with leather. I need to get that thing listed. But it had lost a couple buttons, but there was a spare button attached. So I took it out and I replaced it. But I realized that they replaced one of the buttons. They did a horrible job. I have to take it apart and redo it. I'm going to put those 2 buttons on. It's going to look really good. And then I'm going to list it, you know. Now I'm curious if this is silk because it's so soft. The other one that I had was viscose and silk, and it's really perfect. Like there's just some fluff on it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's so beautiful. Look at these buttons with this. So gorgeous. Okay, what is it? Oh, this one's only polyester. Still very beautiful. You can't get that much for polyester, though. That's for sure. It's not the same. The other one, silk and viscose, it was like, wow. Really. Well, oh yeah, this one also. I think I showed you this one before, but it's really stunning embroidery on it. What's the brand again? Tribal. So it's kind of like, sometimes you can get some okay money for Tribal, but it's not that great. But there were some issues with the embroidery here. But I think that I could restore that in such a way that you wouldn't even know. Yeah, it's so beautiful and it's almost perfect. It's just some rich lady said, well, look, you know, like this embroidery came out. But the thread is still there. And I think what it is, it's just the thing, you know, these stitches were like joined together in the back and they just need to be rejoined. Like you don't want to, I'm not going to stitch it like this. I'm just going to leave the threads as they are and secure them in the back. And I have this great little tool. It's this little metal thing with a wire, and I can grab a thread even if it's very, very small. I put the needle through, I put the tool, and I get the thread through there, pull it through, and I can pull it down to the other side or whatever, you know. So, oh, there's a little bit coming out over here too. Well, I still have the tags on it, so if I'm not able to do it, I can return it. But I think it's so gorgeous that I can probably fix it pretty decently. Oh my God, look at the detail in here. It's so beautiful. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to want it. I don't want it to go to a landfill. And this is interesting. This is a company in England, Liberty Art Fabrics. It's the second time I found one. I have a dress also, and I haven't listed it, but this is very expensive, like high-end printed cloth from England. Um, it's just like the highest quality print. See? So there, I think it's a bit obscure, like it's not something that everyone knows, but there might be some people who like this kind of thing. So I'm going to keep this one. What did I pay for it? $8. That's crazy. But I like this kind of thing. It's very special, very high quality. Liberty cotton. It is a big deal, eh? I thought it might be. And then I have this also. Some anthropology. I have a couple of those. And also this, which I might have shown you before. I have two from this, and I haven't listed them, but I will in this, because it was like the end of summer, so I wasn't listing summer stuff. It's called Antica Sartoria. It's just really, really high quality boho cotton. Look at that gorgeous lace there. So, yeah. I still have tons of merch, but like it's getting better in here. It's starting to get my undershirts sticking out. These are NYDJ, which is supposed to be like really expensive jeans. And these are a size 12. But look, they're huge on me. Look at this. This is a size 12. I'm a size 12, but these are like 14. They're too big. And I was thinking I should just list them because they make me look ridiculous because they're too big on me. But it does say 12, but I think I'm going to have to put them up and say, listen, these are a 14. They don't fit me. So anyway, that's what I've been up to. And I better go put Gunnar to bed because it's late. But it's been nice seeing you, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my new stuff. I didn't go shopping last week. It's been a little while. I'm trying not to shop too much now. I have enough stuff. I just got to get rid of it now. Okay, well, have a good night. Thanks for stopping in, you guys. Okay, good night. Yeah, go check it out. Thanks, Mike. It's Canadian, though, so you can't buy anything unless you live in Canada. It's mostly... Are you in Canada, Mike, or are you in the States? Liberty cotton fabric pajamas are $238. Wow. Cool. I should list that. Hey, thanks for telling me. Oh, you're in Palm Springs. Yeah. Oh, but you guys, if ever you want anything in my store, message me. My email is thetruthergirls@gmail.com. And I can like send it to you through PayPal. I'll give you my PayPal thing if you ever happen to want anything. And we could just like do it that way. I have had a couple people buy things that way. Just to let you know, there's an option. Oh, thanks so much, you guys. I hope you have a great night. Maybe I'll see you on Thursday. Okay, bye, guys.